Fear is the dominant emotion in Genesis chapter 20. At the beginning of the episode, Abraham and Sarah travel to a region in Canaanite territory. While there, Abraham tells the king, Abimelech, that Sarah is his sister. In fact, Abraham and Sarah will be referred to as siblings 6 times throughout the story, even though they are married. Believing that Sarah was single, Abimelech the king takes her in to be his wife. But then God comes suddenly into a dream that Abimelech is having, warning him that Sarah is married and that if he does not let her go, he will surely die. Abimelech pleads innocent, explaining how he had been deceived by Abraham. And remarkably, Abimelech in this moment sounds a lot like Abraham from Genesis 18, when Abraham defended the innocent within Sodom and Gomorrah. God, knowing all this though, confirms Abimelech's innocence and states that it was God who kept him from committing adultery with Sarah. After the dream ended, the story goes as follows. Early in the morning, Abimelech summoned all his servants. When he told them about all these things, they were terrified. Abimelech summoned Abraham and said to him, "What have you done to us? What sin did I commit against you that would cause you to bring such great guilt on me and my kingdom? You have done these things to me that should not be done." It's hard to notice this in the text, but this is not a rhetorical question that Abimelech is asking. And yet, Abraham says nothing, likely due to his own fear as he stands before this king. But the story continues. Then Abimelech asked Abraham, "What prompted you to do this thing?" Abraham replied, "Because I thought, surely no one fears God in this place. They will kill me because of my wife." Do you hear the words for fear being used throughout the story? I have heard the statement, history does not repeat itself, but it does sometime rhyme. Do you hear the rhyming between this story and another? In Genesis 12, Abraham acted like this when he entered Egypt. While there, he lied to the king, saying that Sarai was his sister. The Pharaoh of Egypt had a dream, and God said, "Return her," and then he did. In both moments, Abraham acted out of fear for the world. When he arrived in Gerar, here in this chapter, he was fearful that the people of the region would have no fear for God. What is clear from the story, however, is that Abimelech and the entire nation feared this God. In fact, the only one in this story that doesn't actually have a proper fear of God is Abraham himself. This story presses a hard question to us. Do we fear God or do we fear the world? When we fear the world, we end up relying on our old sins, our old ways. When we fear God, we know that the Holy Spirit is truly in control and no one else is. So, when we sin, it is a physical proclamation that we fear the world more than we fear God. Lying is something that I can relate to, honestly. Growing up, I would lie to protect myself from embarrassment. In lying, at least for me, it was because I cared more about what others thought of me than what God did. Genesis 20 challenges us to put our fear, our faith, in the right direction towards God. Faith that God is the one who is ultimately in control and in whom we can trust when other fears start rising up. Fear makes us uneasy with worldly things. So instead of fearing what may happen, followers of Jesus awe at the might of God. If God is the one who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills, then the mountain of worrying if I have enough money to get by looks more like a molehill. If God is the one who can part the Red Sea, then the waves of weather disasters and national uproars are more like splashes in comparison to God's might. If God is the one who can bring life out of death, then even the fear of death is more like a blink of the eyes in comparison to the power of our God. Genesis 20 very much challenges us to put our faith in God rather than in ourselves or in deception. Yet it also encourages us that though we mess up, God remains the same. God is merciful all throughout Genesis, and he is here too. For even though Abraham and Sarah failed in this moment, God stayed true to his promise.